I'm really honored to be here as the closing that we started in November last year. It was the first of this one in a row. I did the same session about 9 times in between, and each one got to be a little bit different. And this one is much more different. I tried to change at about 40% of the material. So let's first start with me. I'm Floris van Geel. I'm from the Netherlands. I live there in the south, in Eindhoven. You can find me on IRC, on Twitter, at OverOLab, because I'm too lazy to maintain a personal as well as a company profile. And then we click here. All right, for my work, 040 Lab is in the south of Netherlands. I call myself a Drupal entrepreneur, which means that about 40% of my time I do own product development, and 60% of my time I solve problems for clients. The slides can be found here, Pannonia 19 index HTML. So if you want to write something down or take a picture of a slide, take this one. Or at the end, after the questions, there's also a slide with the links, so you can find back the presentation. It's already online, it's just a matter of Git. Okay, so we're going to talk about a problem that we have as a community, not just our community, but there's more communities that have it. There is certain initiatives that help make this problem go better, maybe not go away, but get better. And then I'll tell you a little bit about marketing, very briefly, then about marketing automation, as well as a new hobby of mine that I found starting this a year ago with engaging in the Mautic community. Then I talk a little bit about CRM and integrations with that, and then we have a nice closure to end it up. Okay, so each year I go to a DrupalCon or to a camp and we have a discussion roundtable. I see about the same faces. Most of them are still sitting there next year. Everybody's gotten 1 year older. However, that is not the desired result. We want to see more people, different people, younger people, and so on. So if you continue like this, maybe in 5 or 10 years, it will be really hard to maintain a community for Drupal. Oh, okay, now we go really fast. After Pannonia, I had the luck to go to DrupalCamp in Nashville, DrupalCon Nashville, where Dries announced a great initiative to get funding, like over $100,000 that got by all these companies put together, and with that there came a marketing initiative for Drupal. Okay, yes. So that consists of 4 phases. The first one is to make a consistent brand identity. The second one was to provide a slide deck with marketing materials. And I was really glad to see last week's tweet by Paul Johnson, and he and his team together created this. There is a universal Drupal pitch deck, which is in Google Slides, and you can download it and use it to get more customers for your company or explain people about Drupal and so on and so on. The next step in this is with an issue that's created, 3070362 on Drupal.org, where the idea is to make automated or translation by lingo tech. So the slides will be consumed by Drupal, and then the first version is English, and lingo tech as well as community can translate it. With that, you will get Drupal notes. With the Drupal notes, they can be exported to PDF, HTML, or Reveal.js. That's the same presentation framework that I used to present this presentation, which is really great. However, there's another step involved in getting this. You also want to have local use cases. And we started in 2014 with organizing Splash Awards, which is a award show where Drupal agencies can submit their great work for their clients. And by doing so, it also delivers everybody a nice use case that can be put on Drupal.org. So with this internationalization of the slides and pitch decks, it also gives a new opportunity to have local examples of how great the projects that were built with Drupal are. The third and the fourth phase that were announced weren't covered by the $100,000. However, there is a real interesting component in there. Coordinate PR campaigns, obviously that needs to be happening, but this one is really interesting. Come on. Good. Create a marketing campaign in a box. So it's not just a slide deck, it's not just a website, it's not just a showcase on Drupal.org, but there is also handout material that is actually physical, printed. It can be whatever next to leaflets. So I would like to encourage you also to help out and pitch ideas in the issue queue for the marketing initiative, and maybe that can get done. So we can have a good proposition of what is this Drupal, what can it do for you, and how can it help you. And with that, I hope that we get more and more people to support and work in the community. So the Promote Drupal initiative you can find here on the association blog as well as in the project page. Meanwhile, the director for marketing is currently replaced with a new one. So we have now Martha Betts. You can find her on Twitter, but she's not really active. So emailing through the Drupal association is the best way to catch up and help out with this initiative. So we all are Drupal together. So please and help to promote it. Even without a nice pitch deck that I just showed or other promotional materials that will arrive. We all sustain our lives by using this software and so on. So I'm sure you are all positive about it and talking hopefully not only about it, but still when you engage other people, it can help. So another initiative that I jumped in after last year's Pannonia is the Event Organizers Initiative. I was really particularly interested since the group that was forming there was merely people from the States. Not from Europe, not from Africa, not from Asia, and so on. And the primary focus was to collect data around camps and share that with the Drupal Association. And not what the title says, share information about events and organizing meetups and organizing conferences and so on. So I helped there, join up and see what happens. You can do the same. There's a Slack another Slack service, of course, and there is a monthly Zoom video conference, and they have a newsletter. But still, I invited some friends from Africa and from Asia, as well as here, this region. A few showed up, and well, it depends if you're into it or want to help out or not. Some do, some don't. But slowly we're getting into a track where we have like a global vision of what we are doing with our Drupal community and how we are getting there and how we exchange information and how we help each other to become better and to make better camps and meetups and so on. So about marketing, it all sounds like a big buzzword bingo, but it's not. It's not about sales, it's just about communication. So you tell what you do and you say what you, tell who you are and you say what you do. So for example, my name is Floris and I like to cook in the evening. Very, very easy. If you look at such a funnel, let's imagine I have a commerce shoe shop. I sell these pretty shoes. And I have people coming from all over the internet to my commerce website. And 10% might be interested in when they visit my shoe shop to buy shoes. And 10% of that, remaining 100 for these fictive numbers, will decide that they actually want to have these shoes. And 10% of that, so only 10 people will directly put the shoe in the basket and buy it. I put this here as a comparison. So in this same funnel that you just saw, you have an unknown person that becomes a visitor. The visitor is a prospect. Prospect might lead to a lead. Then there is a sales opportunity, and this person becomes a customer. If we compare this with how this process goes, for example, on Drupal.org, but on any community website, it will go like this. You see, like 4 things are changing. So an unknown visitor becomes a leacher. That's the old school namespace for taking the software. Then the person decides to register on the website. Then the person goes to a meetup or a camp like this, gets to be involved, and actually learns how to contribute. So these funnels are about the same, but with the slight difference that we're not selling shoes, we're selling engagement to people to become contributors. So how can we tweak these funnels that I just showed? Funnel is just where people from a lot go into a few that contribute. There's a few options to do so. One of the most plausible, in my opinion, would be to add chat. So for example, if I run this shoe sales shop, and I obviously use Drupal Commerce, and I have ideas, questions, remarks, whatsoever, I could directly chat with people within the community. We're currently building a prototype to have a one-to-one relation with Open Social, which is a social engagement platform built on Drupal, and one channel within the chat system. So people who are part of this group can also chat together in the chat. And then when the chatting is done, it leads to a nice JSON that can be easily consumed by your favorite or whatever CRM or other card deck that you use in order to keep track of who are your prospects and who are your clients to engage. So we did this with RocketChat. RocketChat is like a free open source variant for Slack. It's actually much better and faster than Slack, and since version 1.0.x, it also includes the threading and all fancy nifty features that we can utilize in order to have real-time communication in a proper way. For in my opinion, Drupal is not able to do that successfully. Drupal is very good in 3 things. First of all, have a decent architected content model, have proper revisions on that, as well as provide access to the content. So we should stick with being a CMS, and with current developments, with headless and so on, we're going really well in the right direction. For things real-time and chat, I prefer to use RocketChat. It's built on Meteor, based on a MongoDB, and for Drupal chat, we also built a cluster with 4 MongoDBs, so 3 to use and 1 spare, and 5 runners. And for proxying, Nginx is, in my opinion, the most suited. You obviously need to have the SSL certificate in there. And if you want to play with it, there is a nice Ansible and Docker roles and playbooks. So you can just download it and start working with it and experimenting. Another thing which is a great asset is that there is a built-in U-bot, which is like a smart robot, which you can connect to your Git CI/CD platforms, as well as to other tools and software. Next missing component is to have OAuth 2 and OpenID Connect. With those 2 components, we use OAuth 2 server module from Drupal.org, as well as the OpenID Connect module. You can authenticate and identify people. So hopefully, we're currently at the end of the stage where we provided the testing situation for the Drupal Association, so that Drupal.org can have OAuth 2 and OpenID Connect. So next year when I visit, for example, DrupalCamp Pannonia, I can just log in with my Drupal.org username, and the camp organizers know that I'm already known to the community. For other people who are not, you have a different way of approaching them, different way of getting them into the community. And then I can just allow DrupalCamp Pannonia to have a medium-sized t-shirt so I don't need to fill this information all the time when I register for a great event. Then we go down to marketing automation. Marketing automation helps you save time by handling marketing and sales tasks on a predefined schedule, and by gathering critical and useful information into certain locations to help sales teams focus on the right potential customers and leads at the right time. That's a lot of words. And it comes down to making the task of engaging these people as simple as possible. So now I jump to another piece of open source software, which is Mautic. Mautic is the only free and open source marketing automation platform, and it's really rich in its features. It has leads nurturing and tracking, marketing campaigns, so you can have emails sent out to people, and if they don't react to it, send them again, give different personalized messages, drip flow program, landing pages on your website that can feed back to the marketing platform, as well as a deep and wide integration with social media and all kinds of other hipster platforms we have these days. So it's all about monitoring, to watch and track what visitors do on your website, where they came from, and how you can help them to get the answer to their question or fix their problems. And there's two types of those. There's anonymous, that we don't know anything about. Well, we do know something about them. We know their IP address that they came from, and probably a refer where they come from in a header. And you have known people that are registered and that you have certain information about, let's say at least an email, or probably not, maybe a phone number or something that you can help for physically get in touch with a person. Then the software, good marketing automation software, scores with points. So when I click on a link or I put in my email, I get some points in order to be more important and more going down through the funnel into the desired end state. And with that, it's a little bit small, but in this case it's like the email drip campaign example. So I get an email, I don't open it, the system waits 2 days, sends the email again, then I click on it for somehow. I get a little bit engaged, I get some points, so we know something more about me. That leads to that I can get more personalized content and more personalized emails or other forms of engagement. This campaign builder is part of Mautic software. And for the rest, there is a huge amount of integrations already in there. You have like CRM, mail campaigns, Facebook, Twitters, and so on. And it's not that hard, I will show you later, to get your own plugin into this ecosystem. So instead of having to build everything from scratch and integrating it ourselves within Drupal, deliberately made the choice to say, okay, this marketing automation platform Mautic is, in my opinion, the best option. At least it's the only open source solution. It looks great, and for me it works great. So why not use it? I've been doing that for about a year now. And recently, last month, six weeks ago, next week, 6 weeks ago, so 5 weeks ago, it got acquired by Acquia, which is either a really, really good thing, or maybe not. Not sure yet. And there is a Drupal.org Mautic integration that's made by 1x Internet, and it works out of the box. So you just get the tracking pixel and the information flows very neatly. So, getting into this Mautic community, for me it was an eye-opener. I've seen some things that we've seen before. Who here remembers that we were using Drupal 7 and waiting for Drupal 8 to be released? And it took long, so long. Currently there is no release. Some pull requests are be put into the Git repository, but nobody started working on version 3 yet, and I tried to register for the Mautic.org community website. It's closed. In the way back past, the Drupal community had to cope with the benevolent dictator, which in my opinion is a really good thing if you are developing a product. You have a vision, you say we're going that way, we're going for the corporate solution, we need this and this and this for building blocks, and people get engaged to help and build and contribute that. However, if you want to manage a community, that doesn't really work. So with our Drupal ecosystem, we got the community liaison, we got other people that some don't even write code. They're just here to help organize conferences, they're here to help organize community itself, and so on. And this is a little bit lacking currently within the Mautic organization, as well as there is no NGO like the Drupal Association. So while Acquia bought Mautic, people within the community stood up and started talking together. And I was also joining up from the first meeting that we had. So I made a composition, like we're with 9 people now for the past 2 weeks, talking together over a Jitsi Meet, in my opinion, much better than Zoom, and getting to at least have an idea of what we want. So I pulled Open Social because we were making a prototype for Open Social with that anyway. And so we have an open website where people can register and start pushing their issues and collaborate. It's just an example. If Mautic.org reopens up, of course there's 3,000 people that already have an account, so it's much better to improve the old infrastructure than to make us like a sort of fork and make something new. However, it helps pushing momentum to do so. Further away, people started formulating a manifesto. Who is a community? Everybody that writes the software, everybody that downloads the software, everybody that uses the software, and so on. And from there on, from a free open source mindset, at least make clear what the community wants and thinks. So the next step is on my birthday, 8/8, next week. I hope that we will see a great present by Acquia about the future roadmap for Mautic. Meanwhile, as a community, we were collecting more people, organizing ourselves, and so on. So I sincerely hope that we can just get this momentum and join forces with Acquia and together make a good combination product with Drupal, Mautic, into a way that is good for everybody and makes sustainable business. So then, stepping to the last step, customer relation management, CRM. So that's the Rolodex you have in the LinkedIn where you keep all your contacts, or you might have some other third-party non-open source solution. I was looking to the Drupal ecosystem. How could we do that with Drupal? There is a lot of Drupal 7 products, and there is some starters in Drupal 8. And in general, these CRM products are either too complicated or too narrow down specific, not in a general use case. If you look in open source landscape, there's 2 candidates. There is Suite CRM, which is a fork of Sugar CRM, since Sugar CRM changed its license from being open source to being closed source. And another option is Civi CRM, which is used by the Drupal Association. So it must be not bad. It's based upon Drupal 7, and they're almost releasing 8. However, it's built on a double database. And we were debating about that at our last DrupalCamp Pannonia. And after a lot of drinks, we made up a new idea. Why not start from scratch to make, maybe yet another, but to make a CRM as a Drupal.org project. However, with the big difference that it isn't a full-fledged CRM where you have to pull your hair, finding all the boxes to fulfill the information who are all required and obligatory. No. it will be a headless CRM. So it's API first CRM, and currently, we're now, well, not a year, but a few months later, it can import from Excel. It can pull contacts from Salesforce. It can get the stuff from Suite CRM, thus also from Sugar CRM. And the last one was really, really important. It can instantly synchronize contacts between Mautic and Amuba, Drupal 8. So that means that if I get engaged within the Mautic, I can just directly update the contact in my CRM, and I don't need to retype everything again, which is awesome. It's still a rough diamond though, so I would love to see more people test with it, do patches, feature requests, and so on, so we can help to make this bigger and better. But still, there's an opportunity to do lead sorting, the same contact lead engaged that you saw in the funnels at the start. It's just taxonomy, and it's the content layout of content sorter module that's been modified to work for any entity, not just for nodes. So you can just drag the people to the way that they are engaged within your CRM. So now we have a nice triad. Of course, Amuba CRM, being a rough diamond, still needs to get more shape and more color and more beauty. But already this combination is very, very strong. And yeah, I hope, like I said before, that with Acquia now buying Mautic, that both communities can collide, collaborate, engage, and benefit from each other. So looking at a little ecosystem of, at the bottom side, having real-time communication, and at the top having the marketing engagement. In between there is, of course, statistics, and Matomo used to be Piwik, and that's a good open source solution for getting your statistics. Then in between, it doesn't really matter anymore if you have Drupal 8, Magento, HTML, or whatever CMS. You can just hook them up, and after that, you collect your data in your CRM. And I'm going to try to make this into the next level product. So then, to have a little closure on this story, marketing people are a little bit different than technical people. They use different buzzwords. You saw a few of those in the presentation. And they like really fancy and nice user experiences, as well as easy, just push one button solutions. And we as technicians have to teach them to use the issue queue, or at least translate their desires and requirements into formal technical issues. Furthermore, yes, come on. Oh, sorry. Did I do the double? Yeah, okay. So, in their task, it's all about key performance indicators. So what helped and how do you achieve bigger results? So in order for us as technicians to help them out, it's just a matter of listening and making the reports that come out really, really intuitive and really, really easy. So you now have these insights to make communities grow again. I explicitly use it in a plural form, since it's not just us as the Drupal community. For example, Mautic is built also on Symfony with Laravel. Just about the same from technology point of view. So for next, I put some stickers at the desk. Nothing else to promote, but DrupalCon Amsterdam. So I hope you all to see you there again. And at this camp there is no sprints, but we can hook up online and do sprinting together or exchange ideas, or if you have other ideas. All the projects do have issue queues, and if you have difficulties typing up issues, I could help, or other people could help. not really that bad, that hard. I see we have one question. Oh, that's a really good one. Is there documentation for Amoeba CRM? No. We still need to write it. We made a logo. We still need to make the leaflet. We need the landing page. We need explanations. Yeah, it's in process. So feel free to join, make an issue on Drupal.org. So at least we can address it and make it. Or maybe you can help out and test it and write it down. Will there be sessions on improving marketing engagement in Amsterdam? Wow, that's also a great question. I submitted this as a workshop or training as well as a session, but both didn't get applied to the schedule. Too bad for me. However, there is a new plan. We still need to make it solid with the Dutch Drupal Association. Since if you look at the program for DrupalCon, we see that we start sessions Monday afternoon. And we stopped doing sessions on Wednesday afternoon, which means that Thursday will be our contribution day. And I strongly believe that we need to add another Friday contribution day, and in there have the opportunity for summits. So maybe Thunder wants to do a publishing summit. I myself would like to do a marketing automation summit, and yeah, maybe there's other ideas for fulfilling that to be like a great after event. How did you connect to Slido with your presentation? If you were before lunch at Mathieu's presentation, you would have seen the same thing. This is an iframe, and the organizers provided Mathieu with the link, and he shared the link with me, so I could embed you. The only thing I did was put a little decal in there, so that it has a little Pannonia effect. But I should have put it a little bit more to the right. Any other questions? You can also go by hand, and I will repeat them. Okay. So I summarized all the important links, not all the links of course, but the important links on this slide. And the most important of that one is at the bottom, where you can find the whole presentation, including the links. So if there's no further questions, I would like to really thank you for the attention and the interest after lunch. Thanks. Oh, nice. Oh, yes. Thank you.